Hi guys, we are here with another tutorial, and what we're going to do is some sports stuff, dynamic lighting. We've got Jared here as our stand-in model, a professional model. So we're going to start with some baseball. What we have here for our setup though, we have our beauty dish, which is right here. We do have a giant fill light in the back, just kind of fill in some shadows. Even we are doing dynamic lighting, we don't want completely black shadows. So I'll bring in some detail in the shadows. We have two strip boxes on either side just to kind of give a rim light on Jared. We are shooting against a black background. We're far enough away so that will fall completely into blackness, dark. These lights here, they do not affect the exposure at all, and I will show you by shooting a frame with no flash. And if you look at the back of the camera, if you can see that, it is a completely black frame, so these lights are not affecting the image at all. So that is just for our video. All right, so we're gonna start here. Something I typically do, I'll have you step forward just a little bit, Jared. And if you look at the position of the light, it is up and kind of angled down 45 degrees so that we get like a nice swath of light coming down. Let's maybe just bring like the baseball bat up on the shoulder, and I might have you rotate just a little bit towards the light. That way we're not getting a split light situation. We're kind of having more light on the right side of his face. Let's take a photo here, see what we're working with. All right, so this is the image that we have. It's a good image, but I think that we can make it pop just a little bit more. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bump up the kicker lights here just a little bit, just to give a little bit more of a kind of edge light on the edge of Jared here. We're gonna do the same thing. And here we go, 1 and 2. Yeah, there we go. And then we have a little bit more edge light right around Jared there. This is kind of more dynamic light than you would do on most people. You might want to, bring in more fill if you have someone with softer features. Jared is rugged enough that he can take the hard light. Let's see, something else that we can do. I typically do this sometimes, go for more of like the wide angle, kind of accentuate the dynamicness of something. So for this one, Jared, let's bring like the baseball bat kind of straight out towards the camera, kind of like you're swinging through and it's going to be pointing straight out. And maybe we might even modify this so it's not like an actual swing. We might go kind of like just like that. And normally I would say you shoot everything on the longest focal length that you can. But for this, we're actually going to shoot pretty wide, maybe at like 24 millimeters. And I'm going to get like right up on the edge of this bat here. And I'm focusing on Jared's face here, but I'm right kind of up against the bat. And I'll take this photo. Yeah. And if you look at the back of the camera, because of the wide angle of the lens, you are accentuating the length of the bat and kind of gives it a little more dynamic look rather than just a standard photo. Kind of exaggerates everything. So yeah, that is baseball. Something else that we can also do is we will grab a football and we'll do some other stuff, and we'll actually throw in some gels as well. We'll be right back. All right, so we've switched to a different setup. We have a football. We also have the eye lighter. I took the sock off of the beauty dish. It'll give it a little more punchy light. And I also have a blue gel over a kicker behind Jared's right shoulder, which I don't know, it will be going off. So I'm gonna turn that off real quick just to show you without the gel what it'll look like. I typically do this for sports that have, something you can kind of keep internally. I'm thinking like a football you can bring like right in the center, basketball, volleyball, that sort of thing. The highlighter will give you like a nice, real cool kick up under the chin, kind of fill in those shadows, and you get a cool catch light in the eyes. So yeah, for the football, let's go kind of both hands kind of right up like you're pressing in on it. And because we're switching to the highlighter, I usually have to go probably up to F11 from the normal F9, just because there'll be so much light. And I'm even on my lowest setting on the beauty dish. Actually, let's go to F13. Since I took the sock off, we'll get even more light coming from there. So yeah, it's nice and tall. And then I might have you take like a tiny step backwards, just so you're about right there. And then maybe lean forward just a smidge. There you go. And then just center up that football right in the middle. There we go. And we'll go straight on. Here we go, 1 and 2. And this is what we're working with here. As you can see, you have the kickers on both sides going. You have kind of an even light right in the middle, kind of washing down in front of Jared. And then the background, again, is still falling into black. There's not enough light reaching that far from the beauty dish or the fill light to hit the background. So what we're going to do, though, is we are going to kill the kicker strip box on Jared's right side. And we're going to turn on our other kicker here, which has a blue gel on it. Let's say Jared plays for a school that has, or a professional team, it's probably out of school now, that has blue colors. You know, you might want to throw some gels in to make it a little more dynamic. All right, so we'll try that same thing with the gel. We'll just go on one side for now. So here we go, we'll do that same thing. Here we go, 1 and 2. Yeah. So if you look, we're still getting the kicker light on that left side from the strip box that was over there. And then we also have the blue coming in on the right side, very subtly, but it is there. So, let's see, something else that we can do, that I like to do at least. We're gonna get rid of the highlighter and we're gonna do some more dramatic, non-traditional lighting for sports. So we'll be back in a second. So, okay, we've got rid of the highlighter. I've rotated the beauty dish to camera right. It is directly kind of facing across. I've also moved the left strip box over kind of just underneath and just a little bit to the side of the beauty dish. And then I've also removed both sets of diffusion and the egg crate on the right strip box. I've thrown some blue gels in there. So by removing the diffusion, we'll get a little more punchy color, as well as kind of more spill because we got rid of the egg crate. What I'm going to do for this then is I'm going to have Jared kind of rotate completely in profile, and he is going to be facing directly towards the beauty dish there. And I might even have you take a step this way, tiny bit more, and then rotate completely. So you're going to be completely in profile. This is kind of a non-traditional way to light somebody, where you're only going to see kind of the profile side of Jared, but you're also going to get a blue kind of kick on the back side, and then the beauty dish and everything will just kind of be filling in light on the front of his face. I do still have the fill light here. It's only very low, but it's just to give a little bit of definition in the shadows, so it's not completely black, to kind of separate from the background. So Jared, nice and tall. I might have you just kind of hang on to the football, and you're going to be looking straight ahead. And then I might have you bring your chin down just a little bit. There we go. We'll do this here. Here we go. And if you see here, so we have the light illuminating the front of Jared's face. That back side of Jared is just getting a kiss of blue. And then the shadows are not completely black. They are still kind of filled in where you can see some detail. And then you can do some cool things, especially if you have a student who is in full pads or gear or anything like that. And this doesn't work just for football. It can work for basketball, hockey, if you have a ping pong player, if you have any sort of sport activity, or not even sports. It can work for anybody. Anything that has dynamicness to it. So yeah, these are some quick ways to do some cool lighting techniques for, you have some interesting kids coming in for sports or clubs or anything like that. This is a way to do some cool lighting that's not necessarily your normal, typical, standard portrait lighting. So check back next time for more tips.